Okay, good afternoon, one and all. Thank you for the opportunity to be standing here to address you all. I'm Kee Siang from Singapore and US Pharmaceutical Society. And thank you, Kushagra, and everyone who have invited me today to speak about the role of pharmacy students in actually strengthening the global pharmaceutical workforce to strive towards UN SDG Goal 3. Okay, so today I'll be talking more about what we do in Singapore, and hopefully you guys can also adopt what we do in NUSPS. So the contents for today's sharing will be on UN SDG Goal 3, will be on NUSPS initiatives, as well as IPSF APRO initiatives, and I'll conclude on how we can strive towards this goal together as pharmacy students and pharmacists. So what exactly is the UN Sustainable Development Goals? So it is actually the blueprint to better and have a more sustainable workforce, pharmaceutical workforce, as well as it addresses the healthcare issues, it addresses the poverty issues. Basically, the global challenges that we face are all covered by the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And most of it is actually to target to achieve by 2030, which also aligns with the theme for this IPC, which is the Pharma Vision 2030. So what are pharmacists' roles in UN SDG Goal 3, which is good health and well-being? So basically, these are the few roles and responsibilities that pharmacists have in the clinical field, such as dispensing the correct medicines, resolving drug therapy issues, to encourage lifestyle modifications and such. And all these are actually basically all the clinical pharmacist roles that we have. But it does not include also the research side and the industry pharmacies, which also plays a part towards better healthcare for one and all in the world. So what are some of the target indicators of UN SDG Goal 3? So basically this is from the UN SDG website. I won't delve too much into it, but mainly it is to actually improve the healthcare globally, to reduce the global mortality ratio, to end preventable deaths, to end epidemic, as well as to reduce the mortality of people around the world. Continuing, it also strives to strengthen and prevent substance abuse by people using alcohol and narcotics. And it's also to achieve UHC, which is the universal health coverage. So now is the interesting portion of the session. So how does NUSPS contribute to UN SDG Goal 3? Firstly, we have Know Your Medicines, Get It Right initiative organized by the NUSPS Essential Medicines or the EMED Committee. Basically, this program aims to have medication review, to have basic health screening like your blood pressure, your BMI, your body mass index, and basically it aims to pair pharmacy students together with a registered pharmacist so that it also increases the awareness of what pharmacists does in society. Next, we have Befriend Your Pharmacist, and this is organized by the NUSPS PPAC committee, which is the Pharmacy Profession Awareness Committee. So as you know, there are a lot of bad perceptions about what pharmacies does in society, and society don't really know what does pharmacy do and how we contribute in the healthcare of society. So NUSPS PPAC actually aims to promote the roles of pharmacists, to actually allow society to understand better what pharmacists does in the various aspects of clinical, of research, of new medicines as well. Next is public health service, and this is an initiative by the NUS Medicine. And there's an interprofessional collaboration with pharmacy, with nursing, dentistry, and social work. So recently, IPE, or interprofessional education, has been of the talks lately. WHO, which is the World Health Organization, stresses on the importance of IPE because IPE is very important in ensuring the healthcare of society at large. So PHS actually aims to spread awareness of the need and means to actually look after one's own healthcare and to promote positive health behavior through a population-based approach. Basically, to sum this up, it's actually to empower the patients to take care of their own health rather than the pharmacist or the healthcare professional always being the one who is providing the healthcare. There's a saying that goes by, it takes two hands to clap. So it requires the collaboration between a healthcare professional as well as the patients to ensure the good health of the patient themselves. As I was saying, IPE, or interprofessional education, in NUS we have the IEA also, which is interprofessional enrichment activities. So basically, why is IPE important? Basically, it's to appreciate each healthcare professional's expertise, to leverage on each other's strengths, and also to understand where we can tap on for resources in the healthcare faculties. So some of the IEAs that NUSPS actually organize is the Madness Games. Basically, it's a sports competition between the various healthcare faculties. Sport, which is SPOT, stands for social work, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. So what sport is actually a case-based competition whereby there'll be a case study for the students to solve. Feed fun fruits, which I'll elaborate on later, and learn other languages. Because in Singapore, there is a multiracial society. There are people from different ethnic backgrounds. And the elderlies are usually not very proficient in English. So what this program, LOL, does is actually to allow, like, let's say, a Chinese student to learn Malay, to actually communicate with a Malay patient in a healthcare setting, because it ensures better treatment for the patient, because the patient will understand what the pharmacist is saying. So one of the IEA is Feed Fun Fruits, which is actually jointly organized by the various committees, as you can see on the screen, NUS Department of Pharmacy and NUS Dentistry. So this is also a health screening program and oral health education to the migrant workers in Westlight Dormitory. This also aims to interact and appreciate the migrant workers for their hard work, and also to teach them basic health education. Next is public health campaigns, which is initiated by the NUSPS International Relations Committee. It aims to raise awareness of global health issues that are relevant to Singapore. So previous campaigns are like the antimicrobial resistance AMR campaign this year, the dengue and Zika chikungunya campaign, which was last year, whereby we encourage students to post pictures of this hashtag, do the AIDS knockout. Lastly, NUSPS also has organized the joint international outing, which is initiated also by the NUSPS IRC. And this time, there'll be a Quad Association collaboration, whereby student association bodies from different countries in Asia collaborate for an event called the JIO. So this is collaborating with MyPSA Malaysia, Isma Fasi Indonesia, as well as PSUT Thailand. And through this program, there will be site visits to hospitals, to community pharmacies, to industry, and as well as research labs. So what's the purpose of international collaboration, you might ask? So it's actually to have knowledge and skill sharing between different countries on the good healthcare practices in various countries so that we can adopt the good practices that we have and learn from each other. Now I'll move on to IPSF A-Pro initiatives. So what IPSF A-Pro stands for is the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation, and we belong to the Asia Pacific Regional Office because we are in Asia, right? So the IPSF is actually the leading organization for pharmacy students. It aims to provide improved public health through provision of information, through education, networking, as well as publications and professional initiatives. So NUSPS is a member association of the IPSF. And as you can see, there are a lot of students being represented under IPSF. 350,000 pharmacy students in 90 countries worldwide. So as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities that we can learn from different countries because each countries have their good healthcare practices, which we can adopt in our home countries. So some of the initiatives that IPSF A-Pro has started is the UN SDG Challenge. So the UN Sustainable Development Challenge is actually aims to raise awareness of the UN SDG to encourage students to co-own the SDGs as their own, as well as to introduce pharmaceutical issues that are related to the UN SDGs and suggest how pharmacies can contribute to the various goals in the UN SDG. Lastly is to increase comprehension of how the UN SDGs are interconnected and how we can strive towards this goal as well as other SDGs as well. So as you can see, there are 17 UN SDGs in total, and they are basically all interconnected. So you might ask, can pharmacies only contribute to goal 3, which is good health and well-being? So actually, no. I would like to say that pharmacies can also contribute to the other goals, such as, let's say, Goal 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. So pharmacists are in charge of disaster resilience, how we can prepare our pharmacies in the circumstance of a disaster. So to pack the essential medicines, to ensure the correct storage conditions, to ensure the quality of the medicines that are being dispensed during a disaster, and various other goals which also pharmacists can play a part in. So as you can see, there are 7 different UN SDG challenges, which I won't go into because I only have 15 minutes. So actually, this will be held throughout 2018 and 2019, and it also aims to spread awareness of how pharmacists can contribute to the various UN SDGs. So as I was saying just now, disaster management falls under UN SDG Goal 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. Next, IPSF A-Pro also have public health campaigns because IPSF is actually linked to the World Health Organization. So we partner with the WHO to run their public health campaigns. So one of it was very recent, and that was the antimicrobial resistance pledge challenge, whereby students and other pharmacists actually pledge to stop the misuse of antibiotics and to stop the rising antimicrobial resistance all around the world. Another public health campaign is the Breaking HIV and AIDS Stigma campaign on World AIDS Day. So basically on each World Health Day, like World AIDS Day, World Diabetes Day, and so on, there are public health campaigns organized by the IPSF. Next is the Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium and the World Congress, also organized by IPSF. So during these conferences, there'll be regional assemblies, there'll be symposiums, workshops, competitions, social nights, as well as public health campaigns. So all this aims to actually spread awareness of how pharmacists can contribute together as one pharmacy community in the world. So as you can see, the picture there was in APPS 2018 this year, which was in Japan. Next is a student exchange program, also organized by IPSF April and IPSF. So it allows students to actually do their exchange programs in different countries around the world. Lastly is the IPSF April Good Pharmacy Practice Education. As I was saying just now, because there are different countries with different healthcare practices, how we can learn from each other is through programs such as this GPPED, Good Pharmacy Practice Education Program. So it allows for skill sharing, knowledge sharing between various pharmacy associations around the world. And conclusion. So yeah, that's the end of my speech. And basically, how I would like to conclude my speech is, so how pharmacy students can contribute to the UN SDG Goal 3. So as pharmacy students, we can organize public health campaigns. We can go for volunteering events like medication checks, public health screening, as well as to be fully equipped with the knowledge. So pharmacy students are supposed to learn the best from their pharmacy schools during their time in school. As well as knowledge and skill sharing, as I've mentioned, as well as we have to put patients at the center of our learning and actions. So moving forward, so what is your vision for your profession, which is the pharmacy profession by 2030? So this aligns with the theme for this conference, which is Pharma Vision 2030. And I hope that you guys, through this conference and through various opportunities that you guys might have come across after this conference, I hope that you guys will have a vision of your own for the pharmacy profession by 2030. So, yep. Thank you so much. That's the end of my presentation.